Hey, yo, so peace, right? I was uptown and I got a hat right here. It said, "Do not rock it on Sunday. If you rock it on Monday, don't rock it like that. Rock it from the back. And if you rock it from the back on Monday, then you must rock it like that on."
Tuesday.
There you go. Must be Tuesday. We're in the building. I don't
Tuesday.
know what the hell that was about, but we're in the building. The house, left-handed, right here. Yada Bear over there, aka Browski, aka High Ceilings is in the house, aka
So,
Diamond Diaries is in the house. I'm always coming up with a name. Diamond Diaries is in the house. Um, Listen, we got about 75 minutes to kick it, right? Because Bowski got some things to do. Got to respect that. I'm in the building live and direct. But you see Yada Bear over there. She waiting to talk about some things, right? A lot of stuff to talk about. Gino Auriemma. Oh, we're going to get at that. LeBron, I got some things to talk about. We're going to talk about that too. Um, Shout out to Michigan. Salute. All right. We'll talk about that for a hot second. But first, before we begin, we would not be this show if we didn't get the first words of the game. Top of the first from AKA Diamond Diaries, AKA High Ceilings, AKA Yada Bear. What up, Browski?
man, not for much. Chilling. A lot
Chilling.
of a lot of sports happening.
Uh huh.
Um, March Madness being over.
Yeah.
There was definitely some madness going on. Um, Congratulations to UCLA. Congratulations to Michigan. Um, Pretty decent tournament on both sides. A lot of controversies, a lot of ups and downs, some surprises, some not so
Buzzer
surprises.
beaters.
Yeah, so it was everything that we could ask for. Baseball in the swing of things. NBA soon to wrap up. It's got like 3 games left of the season
Mm-hmm.
before the playoffs start. Draft is right around the corner. You
NFL draft.
know,
Mm-hmm.
um, WNBA draft around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Things about to really get hot and heavy within that league, especially after
Absolutely.
getting their agreement. Everything is moving like this. You know, the women's tournament is over. The draft will be right around the corner. Training camp like 3 weeks away, basically. So um, things been moving. People been moving within the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that you know unexpectedly moved, wasn't really
Did
on
you,
the
did you,
radar.
did you say unexpectedly though, Browski?
But I mean, was it? I would say it was expected unexpectedly. It could have been a draft day move. I thought maybe if that was
Okay.
going to happen, it
Okay.
would happen during the draft. But if you guys don't know what we're talking about Angel Reese. Being moved from the Chicago Sky, traded to the Atlanta Dream.
Mm-hmm.
They got a couple of picks for her. They got a first round pick for this season, I believe, second round or maybe third round for next year. It wasn't like a huge haul, you would expect if you hear the name Angel Reese, you think, oh, it's like a blockbuster trade. Maybe she's getting traded for somebody, another body moving. But this is basically um, trading for draft picks and showing that Chicago is definitely in a rebuilding stage. I wouldn't say a retooling because they had to make a decision, and it was between two bigs that they drafted in the same year, Angel Reese, Camilla Portosa. They both couldn't coexist together in Chicago. And we was talking, behind the scenes. Chicago's been a dumpster fire since Candace Parker left the organization. Um, Multiple coaches, fired the GM, um, drafted two bigs during the same draft in the first round. So you basically wasted a draft pick, in my eyes. letting key players move on without a fight or even signing one back, and then firing a fan and player favorite head coach after one season. Like she was going to turn the franchise around in 1 year with two young players, with one being hurt majority of the season. And Camilla, she didn't join the team till later on that year. Um, and then to let Teaspoon, throw her out like she was nothing, because of after one season. And then, it was just one thing after another. Angel had said some things, we can't just sit here and woe is Angel like she
Hmm.
was an angel. She was saying things, putting things out in the air.
Right.
Um, Her actions and her words indicated that, hey, she was very unhappy in Chicago. She didn't want to be there. She didn't feel appreciated, which I can see her side, but I can also see their side.
Right. Mm.
Wasn't really producing
Mm.
the wins. What she was doing on the court didn't really equal the wins, even though it wasn't all her fault, but she
True. That's
definitely
true.
contribute to those losses. So, moving on to Atlanta, I think it's a perfect spot for Angel to go on a team that is now ascending up in the ranks of the WNBA gameplay players. Atlanta is now can be considered as a great destination for up and coming players to go to because of the core that they have there. Ryan Howard, Brittany Griner, Alicia Gray, and now we're going to add in Angel Reese. That's a strong foursome there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus whoever they add in this year's draft,
Mm-hmm.
plus whoever they add in free agency. So Atlanta is now going to look like a team that we should all have our eyes on, to see if they can keep the momentum of last season going because, they had a pretty decent season. How you feel about this Angel Reese move to Atlanta?
Ah, Browski, Browski, Browski. Um, Chicago is going to get a first round pick in 2027, a first round pick in 2028, rights to swap second round picks in the 2028 draft with Atlanta.
Well,
Is
that is a haul.
Angel Reese worth all of that?
Um,
Two first round picks, and you're going to still
well,
in my pocket in 2028 with swapping second round picks?
I'll say this. I think this move shows that Atlanta is a win now destination right
Okay,
now.
I'll buy
So
that.
they're in win now mode. So
Okay.
instead of waiting to see who they can get in the draft, they figure we bring in Angel because we have a strong core that had an okay showing in the playoff, but we needed something to take us over the top, and maybe they think Angel is the one that can take them over the top. So I guess they in
I
win now
mean,
mode.
we always talk about how the boards, if you got two, rebounders, how the boards are going to get housed and they're gonna eat it up. Angel Reese isn't just a good rebounder. I give her that. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
knows how to like extend possessions, keep the ball alive on offensive end, and she's not half bad on the defensive end. Now,
Hmm.
what I would say about Angel Reese outside of the stuff that happens off the court, I don't have nothing to do with that, right? Um, she wants to improve her game. She's not the greatest shooter in the world. I think that she wants to be the best player that she can be, and she's surrounded now in the atmosphere first in Atlanta. That's what,
Yeah.
bro. You just said it. They're winning, so
Yes.
they're ahead of the curve, right? And she's at not even at her peak yet. She's just scratching the
No.
surface, Joe. So she gets around this coach. I think that he's a teacher. Carl Smesko, I think his name is. I
Hmm.
don't know really much about his history, but if he can, get them to be like to play together, is what I mean. It can't be about Alicia Gray. It can't be about Brittany Griner. It can't be about Angel Reese. It's got to be about the Atlanta Dream, right?
Yeah.
So they got two out of the three already taken care of. They got the hype. They got the crowd. Now they just gotta get the third one, and that adds up to what? W's to keep the first two popping. So when we talk about the WNBA, we talk about the Las Vegas Aces. We know what they're doing, right? We talk about the New York Liberty. Even though they just got a championship about a year ago, whatever, right? We're not talking about that. Like, oh, they're gonna, they're still up there worthy and they got to show and prove. Now Atlanta, in all, trying to get back on the good things, the good side of things, being better than the Hawks and all of that. Being a very, very good WNBA basketball team, right? Adding Angel Reese um, is going to keep Angel Reese in check. Remember how he was just saying how she was running off at the Yap in Chicago about if they don't get better players and they don't improve the team and she got to go and this and that and the third. So she's gone.
Yeah.
So, and she's in a situation that's, well, how do they say it, Browski? It's a whole 180 from where she was at. Some of y'all don't know how to count because y'all always say it's a 360. No, it's right. Start 360 is right where you just started from. But anyway, I digress. Um, she wasn't wrong. Like Browski just got through telling you, from firing Teresa Weatherspoon to the front office being crazy to alienating the crowd, all of that.
Yeah.
So she was in her position to say that. Look, I'm in a box. I feel like I'm boxed in. While I'm trying to box people out and get these rebounds. You heard? So she's in a better place. But now for me, Kim Browski, is go out there and do it. Go out there and do it. And they should wipe the floor clean with everybody. They got a squad now. Now they just gotta finish the W. They got the ticket sales. They got the crowd. They got the ambiance. All that. Now they just gotta show improvement on the basketball court, and that's where we at with that. Anything else you want to add on to that, Kimmy, before we switch it up?
Um, I'll just say that she's in a better situation. She has leadership around her. She has leaders on the floor, and we just have to wait and see if it gels together. I'm just happy it happened earlier than at the draft. Or at least they can start to gel together. Now that that's behind her, she can put all that stuff in Chicago behind her, move on, and you know give it all she got this season. Show and prove. That's it.
We can't get off the WNBA yet. Free agency starts on Monday. So, what do you see as far as like free agents? Like you got, I talk about Aja Wilson is like Derek Jeter. She's not going nowhere, right?
She's not. Yeah, she's not.
Nafisa Collier, Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper, Alicia Gray, Chelsea Gray, Jonquel Jones, Kelsey Mitchell, all right, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young. Like, I mean, I'm not on it like you're on it, Kimmy, but I can't see all of those going back to their original teams. And
Um,
go ahead.
no, no. I definitely agree with you. Asia, she's gonna retire as an ace. I think Brianna Stewart and Sabrina will be staying, you know, in New York. I don't see them two going anywhere. Now the others, eh, we could be seeing a lot of faces in new places, especially at the team you talk about. Atlanta, is a great destination now, And then not to mention, we have two other new franchises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
we still have people out there who wasn't touched during the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like NECA, she's still around. She's a free agent. You don't know what's going to happen for her. I can't see Chelsea. I don't expect Chelsea Gray to leave the Aces. Also, um, Jackie Young. I think it might depend on the offer and the place. But I also can't really see her leaving. Jewel Lord, I could definitely see her going to somewhere else. We might see a couple of these people in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Chicago has a lot of spaces. And also, we didn't think about this with the Connecticut Sun being sold and going back to Houston to bring back the Comets. We may see a person like, I don't know, Kalia Copper thinking like, hey, I want to go to Houston to be the new face of a historic franchise. One of the
They go
franchises.
back to calling the comments.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
believe so.
Okay. That's
I believe so. Since we want to go back there to rejuvenate that franchise. Who wouldn't want to play for one of the most historic original WNBA teams that went four championships, that had some of the most iconic
mm-hmm.
female players ever to grace that floor. Um, we could see Satu Sabe. Also, she's to me another one that could be on the move. Adding these two other teams, also seeing that there's more teams coming in the incoming future. I can see some of these players who are kind of young, like a Kalia Copper, signing to like a short-term deal with one of these teams because maybe she wants to play the field with one of these new up-and-coming teams, or these women are now been playing more and more together. They might try to form some type of super team. You know how the NBA is going with
Really, yep.
now that
That's
now
totally plausible. Absolutely.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
now that we are, like I said, they're playing more together. And the rivalry, USA basketball. They are around each other more, and they see that, us playing together, it actually worked. Like, we have great chemistry. You on a 1 year deal on this team. I'm on a 1 year deal on this team. Hey, maybe we can get together and join up on one of these teams that's out here that's looking, to change their franchise. So I think within the next 2 years, the WNBA is definitely going to look a lot different. Um,
And I
especially
think
now,
that's good.
yeah, especially now that they're making more money too.
Yep.
I definitely can see um, a shift in the league. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I think we're not gonna see a lot of movement to probably after the draft or maybe during the draft. 'Cause, teams are. This is a pretty good draft, and teams are going to be looking to fill in their roster with some of these young talent. Um, a couple teams got like two first round picks, like within the top 10 picks. So it's. I think it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a frenzy. It's going to be a free agent and draft frenzy for the WNBA. So I'm just
That's
excited to
tough.
see.
I mean, to me, that adds to the allure of the league. Like, you got the new bargaining agreement. Everybody's kumbaya. You know what I mean? It's time to turn the corner, turn the page, and now.
Hmm.
The teams coming in, definitely it's time to set off that new chapter. So that's what we wanted to do. But now we're gonna set it off and move it on. Um, Shout out to Dawn Staley. I mean, she, said today, I think it was today or yesterday, that, she spoke to Gina Auriemma, and, everybody should kind of like fall back. And I'm with that because, she, that's what it is because everybody came out of grandmas was putting down the knitting needles because they wanted to all get at this dude. But I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna leave it alone because that's what Dawn want us to do. That was totally uncalled for, totally Bush League. I think that Gino Auriemma, kind of like fell into the stand, get off my lawn thing. That was the stand, get off my lawn moment. You wanted to kind of like make all this about you and your team to take away from the fact that your team was getting their ass whooped, right? How many times she's supposed to shake your hand before the game, right? Now I'm curious because now shaking the opposing coach's hand before the game is it's fighting words. It's an offense. And Gino Auriemma, I don't think you would have did that to John Thompson.
Oh no.
I probably wouldn't have did it to Jeff Van Gundy because he gives it up. But I'm just saying to Gino Auriemma, man, that's what people are gonna know you by. All the undefeateds and the championships and this and that and the third, man, come on now. Now you're in that gang with the Woody Hayeses and all the other coaches that was at Bobby Knight. Come on now. And watch this. Bowski gonna kill me on this one, but the homie had a point, man. He rest in peace. Coach John Chaney. He had a point. Because he was going to kill, on some real stuff. But that's besides the point. I'm saying that this dude, Gino Auriemma, man, how he went at, like, what? Nah, that's not what you do. And then go lie, and then this is the part, Brasky. Okay, he did what he did, and we could get past it, this and that and the third. But hold up, wait a minute. Son, you lied at halftime. You a whole bold-faced lie for the millions of people. I was watching it live. A bold-faced lie about Sarah Strong, one of the South Carolina players. They ripping her T-shirt, and she used to see what she's saying to the referees on the sideline, and I can't mention it, but all you did was say it with some sugar honey iced tea, right? But she was saying words that you can't repeat on TV. But you was cussing everybody out and lying. That's the part I can't get past. And we're supposed to respect you. You're supposed to be this big time college basketball coach, getting your ass kicked on national TV on Easter Sunday in front of everybody, and you up here lying. Because you wanted that so bad. Huh? This was the Sugar Shane Mosley Floyd Mayweather Jr. we should have saw in the second round. Don't get me started. You was dead wrong. Dead wrong. And anybody who's any interviewer, any reporter that still asks you about that is dead right. Because if you wouldn't have did that, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. We would be talking about how Michigan did their numbers last night in a great game against UConn. And now I got to put you in the same box with the Hurley dude. Because he be acting stupid. I'm sorry, Buzzy. My man Malcolm, salute. That's your team and all that, but UConn got some... But salute, I'm not taking nothing away from them. But let me talk about Michigan for a hot second, Browski. And then you're going to get your thing off. Michigan showed improved last night. It was a very good game. It was going back and forth, even though, UConn got down by 10. They came back, and Michigan was, you know what I mean? But Michigan outlasted them and won the game. But here's my thing. What was wrong with the Fab Five being at the Final Four? I heard a lot of people saying, what is Ray Jackson, Jimmy King, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, Jamal Howard doing at the Final Four? Why can't Michigan, whoop-de-woo, do what they do, they're going to win the championship? If it wasn't for those five dudes, I think that college basketball will be looked at not as hype as it is now economically because they brought the black on black to the game, and I'm not meaning skin tone. I mean in the socks, the ball heads, the crazy shorts, all of that.
Hmm.
And the only thing that's missing from their legacy is what, Kimmy?
Championship.
Thank you. That's the only thing that's missing from their legacy. Anything else, they got the right to do.
Yeah.
And you gonna respect their gangster. But you gonna have people that look at it from a different perspective, and those are the ones who were still looking at it from that crazy perspective back in the '90s. They shouldn't have been out there, and this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. But this is 2026, right? I can get deep into it, but I'm not because I know Kimmy gotta, we got some more stuff that we gotta talk about. But what's your thoughts on Michigan winning the NCAA tournament and the Final Four? And what's your thoughts about how Gino Auriemma handled his business with Dawn Staley?
Well, I want to say definitely salute to Michigan. Like you said, it was a great game. It was one of the. It was a really good championship game. Like you said, back and forth. Like during the championship game, it becomes lopsided at one point.
Mm-hmm.
This was, nail biter on the edge, lead changes, great defense.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes,
Great
Chelsea.
defense on both sides. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was crazy. It was a great defensive game, a gritty game too. It kind of reminded me of like one of those like championships in like the '90s. It was
Mm-hmm.
really gritty, low scoring. Low scoring. Wasn't in the '80s, wasn't in the '90s. Um, it was a decent game. It was. It was a decent game. Michigan coming off top over UConn. After the weekend, people look at this as karma, going back to some more UConn karma. Um, from the Geno thing, just not, it's just not going to go away. But speaking on Geno, this is who he is. This is who he is. And it just been hitting because he's been winning, and um, people forget how him and Pat Summitt, had a heated rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
He hated Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt hated him. Um, he used to, look down at the Tennessee players. You know, we all know why, because when we looked at the University of Tennessee back then, majority of their stars were black. And when we look at the UConn back then, UConn, besides Maya Moore, we looked at as a very white school. I mean, it's still kind of looked at as a white school.
Oh, UConn?
Yeah. I mean, especially for women basketball,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird,
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the one standout that wasn't black, I mean, that wasn't white, was Maya Moore. Maya Moore, salute to her, extremely,
Absolutely.
Hall
You
of
crazy?
Famer.
Yeah. No doubt.
But when you look at, back then when it was the Pat Summer versus Gino, yeah, Shamika Holslaw, Dog, then you had Candace Parker,
Mm-hmm.
another Dog. And then, Gino, he couldn't stop that. He couldn't stop them. And he had a problem with how Pat Summit coached because she was loud and voicious and in your face and
Whippy.
intense. Yeah. So now you fast forward now, and he has to deal with Dawn Stelly, who's also very vocal, very passionate, very animated on the sideline. And oh my God, guess what? Also very successful. You know, always have a top notch program. Even when she was in Temple, she elevated Temple
Mm-hmm.
to the national platform and made them into a powerhouse until she left to go to South Carolina, turned that program completely around, and now they are forced to be reckoned with every year. Even if they win the championship or not, they're always a powerhouse, always in the talks. So when you keep competing against strong women, it's like he has to find a way to belittle them.
Hmm.
And that's what he tried to do. But unfortunately for him, Dawn Staley's from North Philly, and Dawn Staley told her people on the sideline, I will kick his ass.
Yeah, I saw
She
that.
said, I will kick Gino's ass. She said that out her mouth. And you know what? You know what? Her Ben said, I know, Dawn. We know. We know. So for him to sit there and say, "Oh, she didn't shake my hand," no, she didn't shake your hand when you wanted her to shake your hand. She did the same thing she do every game. She greet everybody. She shakes everybody's hand, from the opposing team to the opposing team coaching staff to the people sitting at the table, the 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 refs, the people taking the stats, the announcers, the play-by-play. She shakes everybody's hand. And then you just stand there and say, well, she didn't shake my hand.
Right,
Oh, and then she's out there, she's talking to the refs all crazy.
right.
So what? You talk to the refs crazy.
Why,
No
why,
one's
why
pointing
you,
out
why
what
you,
you're
cuss,
saying.
you cussing everybody out?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, her plays rip Sarah Strong jersey. When everybody with two eyes,
Right,
clear as day,
right.
watch her walk on the baseline, angry that she didn't get in call, grab her jersey from her
Man,
collar, and and ripped it. And then went to the sideline, went in the huddle, and got another jersey. So he was just a sore loser, but this is who he always has
you
been.
imagine the
And
story he would tell if there was no cameras?
yeah, yeah. Because guess what? It's the privilege. It's the audacity. Of course I didn't say that. Even though there's a camera pointing directly at me as you're walking up and shaking my hand. There's a camera point right at us. But I digress.
Right.
Congratulations to UCLA. Came out, played a fantastic game against South Carolina.
Yep.
Shut all that down.
Hmm.
Um, Lauren Betts got busy. Kiki Rice did a thing. Um, it was great to see a team in UCLA who has always been this close to the crown, either getting knocked out in the Final Four or the Elite Eight, always this close, and was finally able to snatch the crown from South Carolina. Because they definitely went in there and snatched it. Like they said, without a shadow of a doubt, we win in this championship, and they have. All the hard work that these ladies had put in all 4 years. Every senior on the team scoring in double digits was fantastic. What a way for them to end their collegiate career. We know that Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice will definitely be getting drafted in this WNBA draft this year. So what a way to see them, end their career. Um, but salute to all of the women that we moved on to the WNBA. Fly J Johnson, we watched her blossom into a superstar. Raven Johnson, they were telling us she can't shoot. She flipped the script on them. Great percentage in the 3-pointer, from there. Um, and then here's the big elephant in the room. The transfer portal is open. We got a team in Tennessee that had zero players now.
Right. They got
The
zero
whole
players.
squad's in the
Right.
transfer portal.
Right. Crazy.
And the number one recruit in the transfer portal, as we spoke last week about it, Adi Cooks. Adi Cooks. So now we're just sitting waiting to see where she decides to go.
Hmm.
And hopefully see if Tennessee um, can get some players. I mean, their recruit decommitted from them. which was crazy. So
They
we're
don't
gonna
got
see
no
where she lands, and
crazy.
hopefully see if they can fill out this roster for next season.
I wonder what Candace Parker thinks about that. I wonder what
Yeah,
Shamika
because
thinks about that.
I never seen this no zero
No, no. How they say it, Bosky? Got no traction.
no tra- I wonder
No.
what happened in Tennessee that turned all of them off and also showed the incoming class like, oh, this is not the place for me. You know, I don't know if it's the coaching or is it the program itself. I know
They
Pat
spend-
Summit
I know
is,
Tennessee. You would think Tennessee will spend money.
yeah, I feel like Pat Summit is rolling in her grave,
Hmm.
looking down at the franchise, at the stadium that she built with her name on it, and wonder why why we had no players? Like what happened to the tradition? But we will see what happened. Um, I'll let you move on.
All right, and move on we shall. Browski's in the building. We are here. It's Tuesday night. You know how we give it up. Um, it's early. You know what I mean? A lot of people jumping out the window and talking about what the Yankees gonna do and all this. Somebody knock it off, please. Browski, your team is out on the West Coast still, right?
Yep.
How did Andrew Painter look in his second start?
Um, he looked okay. He looked like a rookie. You know, it wasn't it wasn't fantastic like his first start, but it wasn't terrible also.
Yeah, so he
Um,
came back to earth.
yeah, he had a come back to earth moment, but I expect that with a good team in the Giants. He pitched four innings. He gave up what 4 runs. He had like 2 strikeouts. It all wasn't his fault. There's some hiccups in the defense, but he didn't look intimidated. When he gave up runs, he didn't shy away or try to overthrow. He kept a steady hit, and I think that the pitching coach managed it very well. Um, but we came out with the victory. Bryce Harper, 3 for 5, couple RBIs, couple of singles, a double. So um, it was great to see Bryce get the bat going. Um, we be out there again today. We have our ace, Christopher Sanchez on the mound, so we'll see how this outing goes for him. And it's early. We
Hmm.
generally have our first check-in Memorial Day. You
That's
know,
right. That's right. Absolutely,
so
Browski. You know the vibe.
yeah,
Absolutely. How we give.
it's still very very early. One note I will say is we do have Orion Kirkland coming back today, so that will help our bullpen. It will also kind of steady that out because he will be stepping into like the Matt Strom place of being like the long reliever, the setup guy. So we'll see how they manage the bullpen with him coming, back into the fold. But like I said, it's still early. This is what the third or fourth series that we're playing now, and it's good baseball. Right
Absolutely.
now, right now I got the Dodgers and the Blue Jays on. The World Series rematches on. So it's just been good baseball. How you guys feel in New York? What's going on with you Yankees?
So far, so good. Can't complain. You know what I mean? We just kind of like right now, looking at some things like Ben Rice is becoming a little bit more stable as that left-handed guy. Jose Caballero is a definite what's the word I'm looking for, Browski? He's not a he's a liability.
Oh.
because we got to wait for Anthony Volpe to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Judge is gonna do what he does. Stanton's gonna do what he does. Jazz Chisholm, he's one of those dudes. He's turned into, like, to me, he reminds, who he is. He's a left-handed Alfonso Soriano.
Mm.
Um, and the reason why I say that is because he'll make a boneheaded play out of nowhere. He'll make,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean,
I
the,
mean,
the power numbers are there. He's got speed, this and that and the third. But, and he wants to be as loved as Soriano. Soriano was the dude, Alfonso Soriano over the Yankees. But I think Jazz Chisholm, he's not trying too hard. He's just going to, he's just trying to do what he does. He's got his spot. You know what I mean? He's at second base. Do what you do, man. Let's just, for me right now, I'm looking at it on April the 7th. I'm like, keep the flow going. We know you're not going to win 130 games, so keep the flow going until Garrett Cole comes back, until Clark Schmidt comes back. Listen, I said it at the end of last year. Our pitching, and we got Slittler is keeping us afloat. Cam Slittler's the truth. We ain't in no rush to get Garrett Cole back. Take your time, Playboy. Do what you do. Right? And Carlos Rodon, that's another one. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? I think the bullpen with David Bednar, I think he's kind of like trying to solidify his spot as the closer. Definitely remember this point last year, Devin Williams was giving up home runs to everybody.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, that's, it's April 7th, Kitty. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at what, 7-2 record. So what? What the hell does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
April.
You
Yeah.
know,
April.
what I wanted to talk about was two of the early disappointments after the first 10 games of the season. The Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox gave up Alex Bregman to the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs are supposed to be a beast in the National League Central. They haven't shown it as of yet. The Cubs have a good team. They got one of my young favorite guys is PCA, Pico Armstrong, right?
Yeah.
They got Dansby Swanson at shortstop. They got Alex Bregman at third. Like, what are we doing?
Said Alex Bregman third.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 games.
Yeah, Kimmy. I know.
10 games.
I know.
I'm not gonna jump out the window that fast about that. I mean, geez, if the standings stay the way they are right now, Pirates may make the playoffs. Who knows?
What happened?
Okay, it's only 10 games. I'm not gonna jump out the window on any of that. I mean, a team that could be looking a little funny. Seattle, I mean, they might be asking questions because it's taken Kyle Rowley about 10 games to hit a home run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did get robbed, I mean, out there robbing everybody.
Talk about robberies, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen robberies like that in a while. All in the same guy, the same place. It was like, don't hit the right field.
Right, like that right there. Go ahead, Bryce. Finish your thought, now, and I want to add on to
I was going to say, so
Waddell. That's the thing.
like teams like that, you might want to kind of side, but I feel like Boston, they'll be all right. I mean, the Cubs.
They went and got Ranger Suarez. They went and got Sonny Gray. They got the Contreras dude. Like, he wanted to beat up everybody.
Listen, Ranger is not Ranger of the past. I think his good years was behind him. Ranger will get hurt. It's
Go
not
ahead, Bryce.
if, it's
Say
when,
something.
because we have I have experienced Ranger Suarez for several years,
Mm-hmm.
and he has always gotten hurt. And then for some reason, when he comes back, he's fat. It's weird. I don't get it.
You be
I
eating.
mean, I have experienced that, but like I said, it's 10 games.
Broski,
Relax.
I'm gonna say this, and I know you're gonna probably be like, "Get the hell out of here," but he ain't been right since he had his kids at the game when he was still with the
No,
Phillies.
absolutely. I
You
mean,
agree?
I agree.
He hasn't been
Ever
right.
since the Phillies brought his wife
Yeah, and his kids in
to
the game.
here,
Yeah.
it's been awful. And
Right.
then he got, like I said, and then he got fat because got here. She's cooking in the kitchen.
They got
She's
that.
making everything. She's making everything. He's sitting
Right,
there just eating, and it's like,
right.
yeah, it hasn't been right. But I mean,
Yeah.
listen,
I
ten
didn't want
games.
it to be like I was trying to be funny, but it was like, I mean, like,
No,
Ranger Suarez is that dude. Like, you can count on him. Like, Ranger Suarez was doing like what Christopher Sanchez is doing now.
exactly. Yes.
And then he brought his. Remember we did the show, and I said
Yeah.
his kids don't look too happy to be here.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, that's cool that his family come and watch, see him pitch and stuff, but he ain't been right. But like you said, the injuries and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, his fork to mouth coordination ain't hurt.
Hey, you know how to do this.
Yeah. Word up. We're going to keep it pushing before they send some emails to Browski. Can't let the MLB chop up go without shouting out Joe Adele.
Yeah.
Like, to me, and I'm going to say that Browski's is like, that's one of, the best, to me, my opinion. I've been watching baseball for a long time. I've been watching baseball for a long time. I remember Jim Edmonds making catches and all the great guys, and Dave Parker throwing out Brian Downey. He threw out two people in that All Star game. He threw out Brian Downey at home. He threw out Jim Rice at third. But Joe Adele, Rob, not one, not two, but three. And the most important part of that, it was in a 1-0 game. That, to me, that's the most amazing part about it. He saved.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had runners on base when he robbed those home runs or whatever, but he
Yeah.
saved
Yes, you
at least
do.
runs, at least.
Yes.
And how it wasn't. And Browski, you can't say, oh well, that one was better than the other. All three of them was dope. All three of them were absolute robberies, because you got some people who
Absolutely.
say, when we talk about, oh, we robbed him of a home run. That was a nice catch or whatever the case may be, but he didn't rob him.
Nah.
Joe Adele robbed those Angels,
Nah.
those Mariner batters 3 times.
He robbed
And
him, like
then in the last one,
falling, falling in the crowd. That was a perfect shot of him in the crowd with the mitt, holding the ball up. I said, bro, that's like, if that's not a poster, like that's crazy. The one him running, kind of like leaping and got. I said, yo, this guy out there got he. I said, yo, he's on fire. He
so
really, he see the ball.
so each one was better than the last one.
I feel like it was. I feel like he was like popping himself.
I'm saying, because the
Yeah.
third one, the last was the best one. So now the second one, he get over the wall. The first one, he jumped over and got it. He leaped up, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean. But that last one,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that was absolutely dope. Where are we at with the ABS system right now? I mean, because this is what I wanted to ask you about when we talk about baseball, Browski.
Mhm.
I'm noticing when and I saw Kyle Schwarber last night. That was funny. I saw Kyle. He took off his. He knew that was a ball. He took off his stuff and was like, "Man, listen, I only had you." So I'm saying, the ABS has become early in the season, like we just start to talk about, part of the game. And what I mean by that is that the crowd goes crazy when somebody does a challenge. The crowd is like going berserk, and it keeps them invested in the game. I guess we're not going to get into the part about how it makes the umpires look crazy, but they doing that on their own because, like, just like with Kyle Schwarber last night, I was like, whoa. I said, okay, you know the strike zone, you know your strike zone. That was high. That pitch was high. That pitch was high. And then when he said it was 2 inches off the zone, 2 inches.
Yeah.
And then they want to say, well, when you have a pitch that's like maybe a millimeter, an inch, or 2 millimeters off the zone, how hard the umpire's job is. And then you look at this. Then you look at this nonsense. So you can't have it both ways. Because now it looks like, all of that stuff that you was getting when it wasn't no ABS system, the umpires are getting called on the carpet for that now. That gotta be embarrassing, yo. It gotta be. Unless you CD Buckner, you just don't care.
Um, it's their fault that this is here. It's
And
their fault because we, as fans, sitting at home watching on TV, and even sitting in the stands, can
hmm
recognize balls and strikes. You are a paid professional that supposed to have studied the game,
right,
studied the strike
right,
zone,
right.
studied each player, studied the pitches, and you can't tell me that that ball that's about 2 inches
Two whole
right
inches.
here,
Right.
you can't tell that's a ball? You're confused? You need you need a freaking robot to let you know, hey,
Hmm.
that's a ball. So, and I do agree with you that it does keep the average fans engaged in the game. Because what do we always hear about baseball? Oh,
It's
it's
boring.
so boring.
Right.
It's slow. Okay, well, here's something that you can keep your eye on too. Because
Mm-hmm.
now you get to see, one, if these umps are accurate, two, if your pitcher is accurate. Because that's another thing that people fail to realize, that it's not just the umps, it's also the pitchers. So now we get to see if this guy is really an ace, if he
All
can
right.
really hit those corners,
Since you
you
brought
know?
that up, since you brought
Hmm.
that up, it's the
Uh,
pitchers, and you're right. It's not just the umpires; it's also the pitchers. But what
hmm.
about the catchers?
Oh, this makes their job a little bit more difficult because now the framing
Hmm.
matters more. Because you can have a ball that's clearly can be a ball, but if you can frame that ball right back into the zone, oh, then you have a great catcher right there. Because it's
So
not
when
just
he
about
throws the ball in the zone, is he lying to the umpire or is he lying to the robot?
I think he's lying to both. He's lying to both,
Let's go.
and
See?
and if he can frame it perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
can beat the robot.
Robot.
Because now the robot is thinking, oh yeah, well that's that.
It's in the. It's
Look where his hand is at. Look
mm-hmm.
how he framed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strike. So now having a catcher that is amazing behind the plate with framing and calling the games correctly, it makes the catcher position more valuable now.
Hmm.
Because, for a minute, the catchers was a lost art. You have guys like JT that was bringing it back by throwing guys out. You had Kyle Rowley coming in with the home runs, making catches great again with the home runs and all that. Now you bring in this system and you're looking at these catches like, oh, wow. Because that was clearly a ball coming out of his
Oh,
hand.
hey.
But look at the frame. Was it a ball? Because it definitely looked like a strike right now. The ump didn't call it a strike, and guess what? So did the ABS. So, I'm loving it. Everybody's going to keep, keying in on it because it's new. Just like he was keying in with the pitch clock. He was keying in. Oh, the bags are so big. They look like pizza boxes out there. Oh,
Right.
nobody complains about the bags anymore. That's
Right.
that's a thing in the past.
Not about
Nobody's
that.
talking
Yep.
about the pitch clock anymore. That's a thing in the past. So now we're going to be talking about the ABS until it's a thing of the past. By the time I'll say the middle of the season, we'll forget about it some. But then in the playoffs, that's when it's going to be highlighted. Just like how the pitch clock was. The ABS is going to be on full display during the playoffs.
And if I'm thinking like Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, I'm grading all these umpires because you gotta have the best of the best in the postseason.
Exactly.
So I'm grading all these umpires, and again, it is what it is because the ABS is here to not take away your job. Because, like you said in your beginning, Browski, you said if it wasn't for the umpires and their nonsense, we wouldn't need this.
One needed.
All right, so we're gonna move on to basketball. We got like 20 minutes left. We're gonna move on to basketball. I need Browski to tell me something about her Philadelphia 76ers.
Inconsistency,
Oh, uh-oh.
I mean, extremely inconsistent. That's been the theme the whole season. It's not going to change. Um, right now we're in the seventh spot. We got like what 3 games left. I mean, if we can win these last 3 games and Atlanta lose at least one, hopefully we can jump to the 6th seed. The game against San Antonio was a very wonderful game. They was only down by like 9 in the fourth quarter. The way they was playing like it was down by 20. Wimby going down. Now that's interesting right there. Here we go, another star player being hurt before the playoffs. And
Playoffs,
then you
right?
got Luca out, AR out. Now you got Wimby out. And also, once again, it brings up the question about the 65 game rule. That comes back in question again because right now you barely have anybody available to win the MVP. Um, so playoffs coming right around the corner. What's going on with your Knicks?
Funny you should ask. Looking forward to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Where we end up. I'm just hoping. My thing is, you know where I'm at with Nebraska. Have home court. So I'm looking at the top three, top four. Um, Here's the thing. Remember, Nebraska, when Tom Thibodeau was coach of the Knicks and none of that bench was getting no burn?
Yeah,
Remember
I remember that. Yeah,
how Mike
I
Brown,
mean,
he was going to coach, when he was going to come to coach the Knicks, it was going to be different.
yeah,
Um, Last year, the Knicks
yeah.
ranked dead last in
Mhm.
minutes played by reserves, right? Tom
Yep.
Thibodeau relied heavily on the starters. The Knicks got the number 3 seed. Um, but then in the playoffs, the Knicks starters had a minus 6.2 net rating in 335 playoff minutes. So
Mhm.
basically, what that means is they were wore out.
Yes.
I think this time under Mike Brown, the reliance on the bench is a little bit. Well, I mean, it's greater, but not as much as you believe it would be, because Tom Thibodeau never went to the bench, right?
Correct.
I think that going into some recent games, the Knicks are like ranked 27th in total bench minutes. I think that if you ask the Knicks fan off the street right now, where the Knicks ranked in total bench minutes right now, I don't think they would say 27th. Why? Because you see the guys coming off the bench, the Diarras, the Koliks, right? You see those guys coming off the bench. I think the thing might be with Mike Brown is that he doesn't really go more than 10 deep,
Nope.
right?
And
So,
it's a couple, and it's like spurts.
right,
I noticed that watching the game, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes,
right. Like
never
that.
longer than five
Right,
minutes.
right,
It's
right.
like, oh, okay.
And I feel like as the Knicks get ready for a postseason run, um, I think that the bench is going to be better prepared to contribute. Miles McBride, Landry Shemmick, Campaign, DeLon Wright, Precious Achua. Those guys are going to be replaced by with the Alvarados, the Jordan Clarksons, and the Awaras.
Hmm.
Will Mitchell Robinson be as dominant? I don't want to get into a long thing because we got some time left. We got to do to get down on it and all that. But I think that he didn't make his season debut until February 28th under Thibodeau, right? This
Yeah.
season, it seems like he's been on load management. They don't put him in when you feel like he should come in. You know what I mean? Then, he misses every back to back, right? So I feel like, having him healthy for the postseason is one of Mike Brown's things to make sure Mitchell Robinson is right. Um, he hasn't played this many minutes, though, in a season since, I think, 2023. But I think that Mitchell Robinson is going to have to be one of the guys that really contributes heavy because you don't know what you're going to get out of Karl Anthony Towns, playoffs included. You don't know what the hell you want to get out of this guy. So I think it's going to be incumbent on Mitchell Robinson to do what he does. And I'm gonna close out with this. Mike Brown has plenty of options, right? But he's going to also have to be strategic in how he uses them. And I'll land my plane on that. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Um. Well, it's not really much for me to say about the Sixers because, like I said, inconsistency. We don't know what they're gonna give us every day. We don't know about the health. Joel's up and down. So we're just gonna see what's gonna happen when this in this play-in tournament. We're most likely gonna probably play Charlotte with the seventh, eighth matchup if everything stays how it is today. It's about three different scenarios. We could be the fifth seed if we win this X amount of games, and this team lose X amount of games, or we could be the sixth seed, fighting it out with Atlanta, or we could just stay at the seventh seed and just get ready to play Charlotte in a play game that we could potentially win. But again,
Good
these
potential.
guys, yeah, these guys, they decide when they want to play as a team or when they just give up. So this year for the Sixers, this has been very inconsistent, just disappointing season. One thing I will say though, a lot of people want to talk about like firing Nick Nurse. I can't fire Nick Nurse when you have four of your five starters out in injury or one being suspended, the other three being hurt, and they still winning, and they still won 40 games. He still kept them around the playoff, conversation. So you can't fire a guy who had G leaders out there playing majority of the season and winning, and keeping them in the playoff hunt until these guys would come back. So I'll say he did do one hell of a job coaching this year for what he had available. I gotta give credit where credit due. But I kind of feel like it's time for us to get down on it.
Yeah, it's about time to get down on it. Browski called it. You know what I mean? And what are we getting down on tonight, Browski?
I'm going to get down on Mr. Fernando
And
Mendoza.
oh,
This guy said, you know what? I'm not going to go to the draft. Here we go again. This guy who potentially is supposed to be the number one overall pick has declined to attend the draft. Now, did they tell him maybe it wouldn't be a good look because you may not go number one since the Raiders have decided to pick up Kirk Cousins and give him the bag?
how you
Salute to Kirk
like
Cousins' agent, the
that?
best agent in the world.
Yes.
For this guy,
You
what,
did-
five
you did-
years, 20 something million, like 156 or something like that. It's a crazy amount of money that this guy gets with every team that he goes to. He
Right,
fleeced he
right.
fleeced Washington for years by getting multiple franchise tags. Fleeced them guys for years. Then go to what, Minnesota, get
So
a
the
bag
Vikings.
there, got a bag there, turn around, go to the Falcons, get another bag,
And
and
bust
now,
ass every chance you get.
yeah, and now he's going to Vegas to acquire another bag. So I feel like, there might be some rumblings in the Mendoza's camp. They're saying, hey, my guy, you may not be picked number one overall because they just paid Kirk Cousins a buttload of money for about 5 years to be the quarterback there. Um, if the Raiders don't draft Mendoza, I think it would be amazing and the best decision because you don't want to go through another Atlanta Falcons situation with the same quarterback. You know, oh,
Right.
we're gonna pay Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed, and then we're gonna draft a quarterback with the seventh overall pick. Oh well, a couple years later, we want to sign Kirk Cousins to a 5 year, $150-some million contract. Oh, we got the number one overall pick. Let's draft a quarterback. Why
Right.
would we do that? Why would they do that? So I
Twelve.
think, yeah. So I think that um a little birdie, like I said, flew into that camp and said, hey, you may want to sit this one out, buddy, and sit with your family and see if whoever the Raiders trade that first round pick, if they need a quarterback, and let's see if you get drafted. Even though they keep saying, "Oh, the Raiders are meeting with Mendoza and this and that don't mean anything because once they get on the clock and you hear that chime and you see the commissioner come out say that the Las Vegas Raiders have decided to trade
Mm.
their number one overall pick to whatever team it is, I think Mendoza going to feel just as comfortable sitting at home watching on TV, just like the rest of us. And that's what I'm getting down on. What you getting down on, Jeff?
Um, I was going to get down on the same thing, but come at it from a different perspective.
Hmm.
Kirk Cousins. I wish he was my cousin.
For
Uh,
real.
man, listen. What do you be? No, it ain't even Kirk Cousins because he just agrees to the deals that his agent gets for him. That's all
He's
Kirk
the
Cousins
best
does.
agent in town.
He gets the deals. Rich Paul, get out of here.
Nah,
Give me
nah,
that.
that's the MVP right there.
Give me that
Give me
dude.
that guy. Give me
I
that
think
guy.
you talk about Fernando Mendoza as we get closer to the draft. The truth will set you free. Um, the Besides the fact of the Groundhog Day situation, like Kirk Cousins dealing with that, and he has to potentially deal with it again. I'm hoping that Tom Brady and Mark Davis, if he could take his attention off his little girlfriend or whatever, get his
Hmm.
mind right, and get this pick together because this is going to be an important pick. But you mentioned something very, very important, and here we are on April 7th. The draft is April 23rd in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
A lot of teams might be saying, you know what? They circle it.
Hmm.
They circle it. And the Raiders is like, okay, I see you. I see you
Hmm.
too.
Hmm.
What you coming at me with? Now that Browski is going to tell you how much they value Fernando Mendoza. Are they going to give
Hmm.
up first round picks? How many first round picks? Like, and then they don't know what they're going to get out of Fernando Mendoza. We just went through this with J.
Exactly.
McCarthy.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be the
Hmm.
man in Minnesota right now. By now, J.J. McCarthy is supposed to be the man in Minnesota. Is a no-brainer. J.J.
Yeah.
McCarthy used to be the man in Minnesota like Jackson Dart is the man at the Giants.
Yeah.
So now they went and got Kyler Murray.
He out there. He got to compete. He got to compete again.
Why can't Fernando Mendoza get drafted by the Raiders? Kirk Cousins know he got a spot. That's his spot for 5 years.
Yep.
Because back in, I keep having to say back in the day, that's why you drafted a quarterback, to develop them. And putting Fernando Mendoza out there day one is, and I'll give you a perfect example, Browski. Malik Willis. We talked about Malik Willis. And I said Malik Willis is nice. Malik Willis went to where, Tennessee? Got drafted by Tennessee?
Yep.
And then he kind of, he was, because I remember that, Browski. I remember saying Malik Willis is going to be the starter.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it together. It was, you know what I mean? Now, he turned and flipped that into the deal in Miami. The deal in Miami, when he earned his dollars. So, again, it might not happen for you from the door, but again, at the end of the day, man, you got to be in position to, make it happen. In the NFL, with the quarterback position, there's always a spot that's going to be open up somewhere. Somebody going to get hurt. Somebody going to sit out. Somebody going to get traded. So it's always a spot. So, again, Fernando Mendoza, now the question is going to be, or the talk show thing, who's going to, or what are they going to offer the Raiders for Fernando Mendoza? Who are they going to get? This and that and the third. Forgetting about Max Crosby, he coming back with his mouth poked out because you was trying to get rid of him, right? But now you got a quarterback in Kirk Cousins, a running back in Ashton Genty. What's your offensive line going to look like, right? So again, it's April, and I don't really talk about football in April, but here we are talking football in April. I'm interested in seeing now. And there's always some dramatics around the draft. Always.
Always. Always. You know it. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be a story coming out. Somebody's going to get caught with some drugs. Somebody's going to get caught with some case. It's going to be who dropped. Things like that. But I'm just
who girlfriend reaching for the wrong cell phone?
yeah. It just
Who mama ain't gonna let Browski, whose mama ain't gonna let their girlfriend, get all the shine and be hugged up with, you see some stuff in the NFL draft. The NFL draft is off the hook.
The draft is always entertaining, is always interesting, but I'm just hoping that the Raiders don't do the typical Raiders thing, I'm just hoping that they go in there with a clear mind, level head, and make the right decision. Like don't make the flashy decision, because like you said, you have a quarterback, you have a tight end, you have a running back. You can work with the receiver, you can work, with that. How about let's get an offensive line? Let's trade that first round pick for more picks, and let's get an offensive line. Let's turn it into an O line / wide receiver. You can do that if you trade back. There's no need for you to get a quarterback.
You get mad picks.
You get mad picks. You can get a quarterback later, but hey, it's their problem.
We'll have to get out of here. Browski got some things that she got to take care of. I got some things I got to take care of. We always salute and respect talking to y'all, man. You already know what it is, man. Down in sports, we in the building. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday night. I'm left-handed at RMDesk on Twitter, which is this right now. And over there is MC High Ceilings, a.k.a. Diamond Diaries, a.k.a. Yada Bear, a.k.a. Browski in the house. Any last words before we get up out of here, Kimmy?
Fantastic. Tournament. Guys, enjoy baseball. And we look forward to talking to you next Tuesday.
Absolutely. We'll talk to y'all next week. All right, go on to Nebraska. We'll see y'all. Get up out of here. Peace. Peace. Peace in the Middle East is soup in Beirut. For real, for real.